Oh, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where everybody is in the world today. A very happy Labor Day weekend to all of our friends in the United States.
Thank you.
Laura, you guys got anything big planned for the weekend?
Going to the shore,
Love
heading
it.
heading to the
Love it.
sun and sand. Yeah, last big weekend for us here. So lots of family and friends and some little gatherings and just take a
Mhm.
few days and get ready for everything that's coming this next season for us.
Ah, I'm so excited for, well, fall for you guys and spring for us.
Yeah.
We have our Heritage Day coming up here in South Africa later this month, and that is what we call our Braai Day, a braai being basically a barbecue, an open fire
Oh,
barbecue.
nice.
Um, so that's always like a big kind of this. It basically heralds the start of summer. Like everyone knows, okay, this is when summer's now really starting to kick off. So excited for that as well, and just
Cool.
I'm so excited for everything that's going to be happening over this month. I am not going to say anything else,
I
but to
know.
anybody who watches this today, y'all are going to want to be with us on Monday because we have some pretty big announcements
Yeah.
for what is coming in the month of September. So, yeah. But without further ado, I'm going to well, I've already started shuffling.
Yeah.
Let's see what the general energy for the week coming is. Oh, and I just wanted to let everyone know, I don't know if you guys kind of felt the same way, but it kind of struck me this week that everything that I had kind of said last week Friday about the energy that was going to be coming through, that feeling of stagnation, and yet we are actually moving forward. Um, that hit home for me quite heavily this week. So a lot of things that I was kind of like, oh, I'm not sure that I can move forward. And literally, as that thought occurred to me, I was like, hang on, you did a reading on this last week. You knew this energy was coming. You are moving forward. You just need to, like the hanged man, release yourself.
And
And
we
that was what
really have been moving forward with
yeah,
speed.
hugely, hugely,
Yes.
hugely, hugely.
So
So,
remember, recalibrate that thought when we feel that way. Just you have the skills, you have that internal power, connect to it and just keep moving forward, positive action.
woo,
Let's
okay.
what are we getting?
So, very happily on the spiritual side of the draw, the hangman is moving out. So, he's going away. Lovely, loving that. He's in
Hi.
the lesser position today. So, it seems like more of us are kind of releasing ourselves from our own, I guess. Actually, there's that term again that's been coming up a lot for us today, Laura, when we've been talking about limiting beliefs. And we were like, we actually want to kind of get away from that term now. But
Right.
that's exactly what it looks like is happening is people are shedding anything that's holding them down and
Right.
moving forward quite nicely, which is good.
Wonderful.
Still staying on the spiritual side of the draw, there seems to be a lot of spiritual energy coming through. So the other two card placements are two of the oh gosh, I've gone blank on the term, major arcana, the high priestess, and the hierophant. It's giving me a sense of guides who are, oh, that's actually coming through very strongly, guides who are a little bit more mature, who are offering not assistance in the physical sense, but definitely signs and maybe just pulling us in a little bit of a stronger direction. That is definitely coming through very strongly. So I would recommend that just based on the spiritual side of the draw, as this week progresses, we really want to make sure that we don't lose touch with our spiritual side, which, when I look at the physical side of the draw, makes sense. The physical side of the draw seems to be very much about, well, physicality, actually. So I have the Ace of Wands. It's the card of what is in our conscious mind, indicating that there's a lot of fast moving parts. Um, Situations are moving to a logical conclusion, hopefully a beneficial one as well, at speed, right? And as that is happening, I've got the Page of Swords here as well, the card of what is, which is very much around air. So swords represents air, represents mental aspects and that sort of thing, but it can be a little bit flighty as well. Messages coming through. So, again, very much based on the physical, probably an email or something along those lines that we're going to be getting with news about things that we have been working on that we're now trying to push forward. Again, the advice from the spiritual side, don't lose touch with your don't lose touch with your inner self, your inner
Mm,
soul, your inner guides. Okay. The advice card is one that I always find very interesting. It's a stage card. It's the Two of Swords. Now, the reason I find this card so interesting is because stage cards usually represent things maybe not being as they appear. But this particular card has a blindfolded woman. Think of Lady Justice, right? But holding two swords crossed over herself, indicating that there is going to be decisions that need to be made. The other reason why I always love this card and find it so interesting is because the backdrop is water. Now,
mm,
whilst swords represent air, water always represents emotion, right? So this card for me really is showing, again, to my understanding of this reading, we're going to want to balance out what is happening in the physical world versus actually staying in touch with the spiritual side of things, with our intuition, with the guides that we maybe have been working with. Now, lastly, the card of the subconscious. And again, I think I know why this is here. It's something that has been on my mind a lot as well. It is the Nine of Swords. It's sleepless nights. It's things
mm,
weighing on us. It's issues that are unresolved, etc. Again, makes sense. If we look at the mainstream media, what is being put out there, there's all this talk of this looming recession. They've been talking about this for weeks now. And yet every now and then they dangle a little bit of hope. Well, the cost of living crisis across the globe might get a little bit better. Emphasis on might.
mm.
The interesting thing here for me is that whole experience is not reflected anywhere else in the draw. So everything that we are maybe concerning ourselves with, that we are worrying about, it's not just in our heads, but it's not actually affecting us nearly as much as we think it is.
Right.
So that is, yeah, that's my draw for the upcoming week.
I love it. As we always have these amazing conversations beforehand, and we were talking about the speed of things, which we already are tapping into. The water, we're made up of, God, 70 to 78% of water. So the emotional connection to that. I love when the mature guides came in. Again, just use these amazing readings to connect with expansion. Expand your mind and take in what's being said, and recalibrate that to make sense for you. And all of the
Mhm.
answers are right in there. The conscious mind, the spiritual side, speeding up ideas and not allowing what other people are saying, i.e., media, all the negativity, to really have personal negative effect on your goals and your dreams. Always keep working towards what matters to you, even if the conditions aren't exactly where you want them to be. Because remember, all thought is creative. So even though we're aware, right? You be that mature guide for yourself. Keep moving in the direction of what you want to create because it all balances out. So I pulled up our power quote for today, and now this makes sense for me as always. So the quote is,
Love it.
act with intention, for this way of being will lead you toward the arrival of your greatness. Act
Mm.
with intention. So, as Stefan said, even though this is going over here, continue to move in the direction through your intentions, the way you think, the way you feel about your inner power, what you know you can create, no matter what. This way of being will lead you toward the arrival of your greatness. Keep staying connected to your creative side, your spiritual side, that inner guide, and it will allow you to tap into something very different than what the mass media is telling us. Because, and I'm going to remind you, and many of us know, even in the worst depression, people created the most lasting, successful companies. So that is a real example of, even if things are being shown in one way, you have your own individualized guidance system letting you know that no matter what the condition, you can elevate anywhere you want to be.
I have nothing to add. That is so perfect.
Wonderful. We've got this, everybody. We've got this.
We
An
really do.
empowered community, many, oh God, such incredible things are going to come through with everything that we're doing with the Wealth of Self and beyond. So use these readings to really, again, expand your mind, elevate the way you think, and take whatever resonates with you and build on that.
For sure, because this is actually no. I said I have nothing to add, and I have nothing to add because that was just so perfectly said. I want everyone to just really sit with what Laura just said to us, because as we constantly say, we are forever empowered, always resourceful.
Yeah.
Even when things are looking tough, the resources are there. The universe never lets us down.
Yeah. And always one,
Okay.
I'm so sorry, one quick thing. Always remember there's someone on this planet that is persevering through it. Be one of those people.
Okay, I said I wasn't going to add anything, but I'm going to add one last thing, and then I swear I'm going to sign off because you sparked something there for me.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this a bit more on Monday as well, I'm sure. But I recently saw an interview where an economist, who is now a fairly famous meditation coach, actually,
Wow.
said that in every recession breeds an inordinate amount of new wealthy people, millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah.
Because the only thing is that every recession sparks a different level of wealth in a different industry.
Yeah.
Since it's impossible to know because it's never the same each time.
Right.
But that just made me realize that, as Laura just said, we have the ability to keep moving forward. We have the resources. Just because something is going on over there, just because the media and the world is telling us that things are upended, that doesn't mean that you should stop focusing on pursuing your goals. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Wonderful. Have an empowered weekend, everyone, and we'll see you Monday.
Speak soon, everyone. Bye
Bye.
now.